What is going on, NFC South Roundtable, and welcome back into another episode. Last week, we talked about the preseason. This week, we are back talking about the preseason, every single thing that happened here with these teams in the NFC South. And we have a little bit of a fun end segment for you guys today, because after we recap all these games, each of these guys, okay, this is where you get a little bit of a glimpse into just how hardcore the NFC South Roundtable is going to be this season. Because at the end of today's episode, these guys are going to be ranking, in their opinion, the top quarterbacks into the NFC South from 1 to 4. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for the entirety of today's episode. On your way in, make sure you guys leave a big like on the video and subscribe here to the NFC South Roundtable. We have been growing massively over the last couple of weeks, and we want to see that same thing happen all year long. But before we get into these games, let's just go around the corner, man, see how everybody's feeling today. James, let's start with you. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. The Bucs got another win in preseason. That's some injury stuff that happened, but that is what it is. Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Happy to be here for another week with the boys.
Love it. Berto, how are we feeling? Okay, you've been chopping it up the last couple weeks. I mean, I'm waiting for you to say Michael Penix is the number 1 quarterback in the division. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, that spoiler, not a spoiler, but stay tuned. But no, yeah, everything's been going good, man, personally and here, man. Glad to be rocking with you guys again. Not too thrilled over the Falcons' loss to the Titans and whatnot. Some things, some areas to grow, but some areas to definitely be happy with. So we're just looking to capitalize in this last preseason game versus the Dallas Cowboys. See how we finish off this preseason.
That Falcons loss, man. Bit of a sensitive topic there for you?
No.
No. Hey, okay. Yeah, pump your chest, Berto. Pump your chest. Nothing bothers you, man. That's what we like to see. Clay, how you feeling?
I have my concerns. It's not necessarily with and I'll explain more into it, but I do have some concerns with this coaching staff. It's more on the coaching staff than the production and in the product, the talent that's on the field. It's more of, I felt like this coaching staff left a lot to be desired on the field in that game, to be honest with you. I thought it was embarrassing, to be honest. I thought it was embarrassing. And I'll dive more into that here shortly. But
Clay, like I always say, man, you have a good coaching staff, it's going to make a bad roster look good. But if you have a bad coaching staff, it's going to make a good roster look like absolute crap. So I'm excited to hear you break that one down. Where exactly do the Carolina Panthers stand? But DJ, how you feeling? You in New Orleans there?
Nah, man. Look, the French Quarter in the background, man. But look, I'm doing great, man. I want to give a special shout out to my grandparents, man. Today they're celebrating 61 years of marriage, man. So
wow, man.
Just want to give a special shout out to them. But yeah, all in all, man, things are great, man. Just trying to figure out what the Saints are going to do with this quarterback situation. But other than that, I've seen some positive things for some young players. So we'll get into that also.
Wow, we should have them on the show. Tell everyone their secret, man. That's absolutely amazing. You don't see that much these days.
You think I'm a big Saints fan, man. You haven't seen one until you seen my grandmother, man. Been a Saints fan since the expansion. So, yeah, I know she's watching this right now. I love you, Grandma.
I love you too, Grandma. Shout out Grandma in the chat. Grandma Jones in the chat, man. I love it, man. All right, guys. Well, that means we got to have a good show. We got to have a great show for Grandma Jones today. So everybody give some love to Grandma Jones in the chat, man. But before we get into the games, of course, we got to let you guys know about a really, really cool opportunity, because fantasy draft starts really right around the bend. And this is your opportunity to make sure that you dominate this upcoming season with RotoWire right now, linked in the description box below, as it always is. You guys can get access to the ultimate fantasy football tool. Sign up today and you guys get a limited time exclusive offer of 15% off when you use the promo code RTS. Again, 15% off using code RTS. The cool thing about RotoWire is that it is a tool that you implement into whatever draft source that you specifically use. So whether it's Sleeper, ESPN, NFL, this plugs into that and you use it come draft day. And the really cool thing too about RotoWire is that you can do mock drafts up until your draft day to get that extra preparation. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I'm in multiple leagues every single year. I'm talking about family leagues. I'm talking about leagues with friends. I'm talking about random leagues. Not only do I have bragging rights on the line for the next year, but I also got money on the line for the next year. And this is the one time that I am confident, without a breeze, okay, that I am going to win every single one of my fantasy divisions this upcoming year because of RotoWire, okay? RotoWire is the ultimate tool to make sure that you dominate with ease. And you walk right through it, okay? It walks you through everything. It's based off of what you personally want to do. So as you can see here, they'll ask you, how do you feel about taking risks in your draft? What do you want it to do? Early on in the rounds, me specifically, I like to play it safe. Early on, those are the guys that I'm expecting to dominate for me. I don't want to take any chances. In the middle rounds, that's where I like to have a bit of a balance. But in the late rounds, let's aim for the most possible upside. It'll also ask you questions like, are you comfortable reaching for a player that you really like? So early on in the rounds, do you want to stick to the average draft projection? Do you want it to be balanced? Or do you want RotoWire to go out and get the guys that you told it to get? Me specifically, I want them to go out and get my damn guys. In the middle rounds, I like to keep it a little balanced. In the late rounds, I like to stick to the average draft projection. What's really cool too about RotoWire is that you get to list the factors that matter most to you when drafting. So does age matter most to you? Me personally, that does matter. If a guy's getting up there in age, don't feel like I can really count on you all that much. Consistency of a player is the most important to me, but injury risk is also top 3 most important to me. And that's what's really cool about RotoWire is you get to create this list. It is a plugin. It tells you when you're drafting who the best possible running back, quarterback, wide receiver is left, while also telling you, hey, this guy will not be here by your next pick. So if you want him, you better take him now. Guys, make sure you dominate your fantasy leagues this upcoming season with RotoWire. Link in the description box below. But all right, fellas, let's go ahead and let's get into these games. James, let's start with you. Bucks here, preseason week 2. Tell me everything that happened and your biggest takeaways.
Well, first, Colby, you can't fool me, okay? Let it be known that we have a shelf life here on the NFC South Roundtable. Once we get too old, Colby's kicking us to the curb, okay? that's what I heard, okay? That's what I just heard. So, it's fine. It's fine. I get it.
Start your clock, James. Start your clock.
I know. All right, listen. So the Bucks won 17-14, got another win under their belts. That was awesome. I loved to see that. To be honest, there was some positives and some negatives. The positive was that Teddy Bridgewater, veteran quarterback, came out there and actually did some good stuff. He threw a couple of touchdowns. Really nice catch by Bucky Irving, just an absolute dot into the bucket. Emeka Egbuka made a really nice touchdown catch. We're going to need more of him going forward, by the way. And it was just an overall fine performance by Bridgewater. I am actually curious going forward as to who the backup quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Kyle Trask? Is it going to be Teddy Bridgewater? I don't know, man. Like me personally, I believe that if they had to start somebody, if Baker Mayfield were to miss time, I think it would be Teddy Bridgewater going forward, just because he's a bit more of a solid veteran presence. But the unfortunate news was that Jalen McMillan has been placed on the injured reserve. He's going to miss at least the first couple months of the season with a severely strained neck, which is very unfortunate. But they do have Emeka Egbuka in place. They do have some other wide receivers who have been doing some good stuff as well. So right now, I'd probably expect your wide receiver trio to start this upcoming season, if Chris Godwin is not back by week 1, to be Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka at the 2, and then probably Sterling Shepard at the 3. So that's kind of some of the bigger takeaways from the game, but it is always nice to get a win. Some of the backups did look impressive in some game action. The Bucks actually have 6 interceptions through 2 preseason games on the defensive side of the ball. So that was very impressive as well. Overall, a win's always nice, even if it is preseason. It's still nice to see some of the backups go out there, make some noise to try and make some roster spots.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, why does this keep happening, guys? I
apologize,
man. I'm about to say, TJ is gone. I was about to say your grandma's watching. You're getting the promotion this week, man. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready on the spot. But hey, let's go on over to Berto. Berto, what are your thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers thus far?
Yeah, man, I hate it. They look good. Some good things from there. Emeka Egbuka, man, he's going to be a force in the NFC South to contain. And yeah, it's unfortunate Jalen McMillan did go out with a back injury of some sort. He'll be missing some time. So even though they are our opponents week 1, we still got to account for Mike Evans. We still got to now account for Emeka Egbuka, Teddy Bridgewater. you look fantastic. I'm with James, man. I think that he probably will win that backup quarterback, opposite Baker Mayfield. Kyle Trask did do some good things, but Teddy Bridgewater just dropping dimes, man. Love to see it from the veteran. Overall, I think the Bucs look solid, and I think they're ready to go week one. Just bring your A game, because you guys are dropping like flies, man. So you got to expect our best punch come week one.
Ooh, you got anything to say to that, James? Are you scared week one? These injuries already. I mean, it happened to you last year too. So is it a little bit of PTSD, like, this is happening already?
No, because Emeka Egbuka's there and he looks really good. So like it's not as concerning. Like obviously there are some other injuries that are more concerning with like Tristan Wirfs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately we'll see. We'll see. Like every team has injuries. Can't really be used as an excuse or a crutch, so to speak. You just kind of have to battle through them and play. So no, I'm not. It doesn't make me more nervous for week one. No.
All right, Clay, let's go down to you. What are your thoughts about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I was, James, and I'm a Bucs fan, I think Teddy Bridgewater is the more reliable backup right now. I mean, he showed more poise and decisiveness, and he definitely seems more confident. I mean, he outperformed Kyle Trask. Yeah, y'all have got definitely. I mean, James. I mean, I agree with Emeka Egbuka. I think Jacob Parrish also is a guy that you got some young playmakers that are going to make some impacts. Obviously, you got some injury concerns with Jalen McMillan. Thankfully, his neck isn't it wasn't a terrible neck injury. But there was some offensive line and run game struggles I saw in this game. I felt like, obviously with Tristan Wirfs being sidelined, there's some, that's not helping you at all. But I mean, overall, I think that there's some promising individual performances from this game I saw. But there were definitely some structural weaknesses that I saw as well that could pose some major problems once you get in the regular season.
TJ, let's go on over to you. What are your thoughts about the Buccaneers?
I think every NFC South fan of other teams need to cover their ears. I think the Buccaneers are just that much better than every other team in the NFC South. And I hate to say it. There was a time where you had like a tight degree of separation between each team, but I'm starting to see them flex their muscle. They got a lot of talent on this football team. And what scares me is the fact that they actually have depth at certain positions. And if they can stay healthy, man, like it's going to be tough for the rest of these NFC South teams that finally seem like they're starting to figure it out, like teams like the Falcons. It's going to be tough for them to win this division, man, because I'm looking at these guys and I'm looking at unusual suspects making plays. And that is the recipe for success when you're trying to build a contender. I think that this is possibly the year where not only are the Bucs going to like contend for like the NFC South, they probably can make a run in the playoffs. Like I'm not even, y'all know me, I ain't just a hater like that. I've seen some good things in the game. I also seen some things they might need to work on. But at the end of the day, this is a dangerous football team that we're looking at right now. And any team in the NFC South that plays against the Bucs, they better bring their A game because it's talent all across the board with these dudes.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been dominant, I feel like, for years now. I mean, whether it's Tom Brady, even when Tom Brady left, I mean, the coaching staff, the players that you guys have, the veterans, the young Bucs, it's always a hard team to stop, even when injuries do ultimately go their way. But guys, let us know your thoughts about that Buccaneers game and your thoughts about where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers currently are heading into 2025 in the comment section below. Now, Berto, before we get into the Falcons game, I want to get into some of the donations because you guys are being very, very generous in the chat, as always. Shout out to Who Dat for Life Chris coming back saying, we back. Can the Falcons win even a preseason game? I don't know, Berto. I guess we're going to find out later on when you tell us how they're performing.
I would like to say, if I may, thank you for that $2 donation, but why don't you become a Patreon and call into the show and we can hash it out and we can just talk, man. We can have that good old talk. But yeah. We could do that. We could do it. There it is, right there, right down below. Come on in.
Beautiful plug, Berto. Beautiful plug.
What y'all gonna talk about, though, man? Seriously, what y'all gonna talk
listen,
about?
Whatever the agenda is, whatever narrative they want to push is definitely on the table. Because if they want to talk quarterbacks,
I mean, what have
Don't worry, I'll wait.
What have your starting quarterback done besides wear silk do-rag right now, bro?
I don't know, man.
Like, that's
Listen, good
man,
point.
we
but I
selling
think
aura right
more
now,
talent
bro.
in that red dress event that y'all had in New Orleans to find a quarterback there than what you got on your active roster now.
We don't want to talk about red dress events in Atlanta. We're gonna let leave that
That's
alone.
your organization, bro.
Hey guys, look, if you do want to call into the show, if you got a question, you got a comment, you got a concern, and you want to come on here, have your voice heard for 30, 60 seconds, make sure you click the link in the description box below to become a Patreon member here at Roundtable Sports. Now, becoming a Patreon member means that you can call into any show here on Roundtable Sports. It's not just the NFC South Roundtable, but if you want, you can call into any of the other roundtables that we have, the AFC East Roundtable, the AFC West Roundtable, the NFC West Roundtable. You name it, we got it. On top of being able to call in to our other shows on Roundtable Sports, whether that's our college football show, Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, or if you want to go ahead and call into Fourth and Forever, Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out that Patreon link below. But let's get into the remainder of these super chats, and then we'll continue. Who Dat for Life? Chris comes back here with a $5 donation, says, Clay's questioning not his gender, but what the concept of
bro, why did he get
football
5? I only
really
got
is.
2. Man, that's
So
I'm not even sure how to respond to this, honestly.
bro.
Man.
I don't know why.
Where the fuck did someone come up with that shit? Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Dude, mine's the least offensive super chat.
And the Tampa Bay Bucks have been fun for now.
At least Colby can say that one.
Yeah.
Hello.
I try to read them beforehand just in case.
God,
Jesus.
Just in case. Okay. Whatever life Chris comes back in here with a $5 donation and says, last time I checked, your quarterback was throwing up game size like Tua. Too soon? All serious though. Hope he's okay.
Oh man.
Who Dat for Life Chris comes in here with some absolute fire on every single person in the division. But Berto, now it is your time to shine, okay?
Yes.
Let me know everything that happened with the Atlanta Falcons' loss in preseason week 2 against the Titans.
Well, you know, it was a joint practice all week with the Tennessee Titans. The Falcons did fall 23-20. Titans pretty much knew what the Falcons were going to throw. And I think I know why. It wasn't Zach Robinson that was calling the offensive plays this past week, but none other than TJ Yates, our quarterback coach. And why was that? I think Atlanta is expecting big things out of the offense and what Zach Robinson's what he's gonna, bring to the NFC South and play calling in year 2. But they're also getting prepared for maybe life after Zach Robinson. So they're starting their contingency plans early and often. Yes, TJ Yates only muster up 20 points for the offense, or dialed up plays 20 points worthy of. Easton Stick wasn't the Easton Stick that we saw against the Lions, unfortunately. He did regress. He did throw a costly INT, and I'm not tripping off of that because let's be real, he's not going to get any playing time. This is just, let's see if he's good enough to make this roster. Emory Jones, the other backup quarterback, unfortunately was lost in the game due to a concussion. So Easton Stick did come back and in a last minute or some sort of heroic couldn't do anything. But other than that, let's see. The run game, Nathan Carter did pop a 43-yard run, which was the most exciting part of the game. We did get to see an exclusivity 7th-round draft pick, Jack Nelson, who played more like an undrafted free agent, but who did look like a draft pick was Jonas Gray, an undrafted free agent left guard at the moment. What played pretty inspiring on this offensive line was really moving some bodies, which and one allowed Nathan Carter to burst up the field for that 43-yard touchdown. And we can't not talk about the demon himself, James Pierce Jr., who was, again, a handful for the Tennessee Titans. They couldn't contain him. In just 2 preseason games, he already has 7 quarterback pressures. And in this one, he had a masterful move where he got around the left tackle and flushed the quarterback again, which allowed the quarterback to make an errant throw and a pick off by Natron Brooks, who's now, I don't think he's fighting for a roster spot. I think he's a lock to make this roster. Natron Brooks, last year's preseason darling. This year, it's coming back and coming full force. So that's a bright spot for our Falcons thus far.
All right, Berto. Good assessment. Good assessment, Berto. Clay, let's go down to you. What are your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons so far? Who, you know what? I think from the fan base, they have a lot of hype going into this year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Bernard. Nathan Jones is definitely making a strong case for a roster spot. I mean, he had an interception, and even in the kick return. So he's got some versatility there for him, which is probably going to benefit him in the long run, especially, having that special teams aspect in his, repertoire. But I got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, rookie Nate Carter looks good. I mean, I know he's probably going to be the RB3 behind Algier and Robinson, but he looked nice. Stick showed. I agree with Berto. Like Stick showed both struggles but resilience. Cam Ward, though, I felt like. I mean, I know we're talking about the Falcons, but I felt like we can't not talk about the number 1 overall pick a little bit. But I felt like he fizzled out early. Unfortunately, but he just struggled to sustain performances in that game. As for overall, I just felt like the Falcons have shown some flashes of talent and some resilience. I'm going to give them that, especially from rookies and some of the key specials they do have. But for me, if I'm a Falcons fan, I feel like there's some consistency and some depth remaining concerns until the regular season approaches.
TJ, let's go on over to you because I know that you are the number 1 hater of the Atlanta Falcons. So go ahead and talk to Berto. What do you think about this team that just lost to the Tennessee Titans?
Look, I'm first off, I'm not gonna let you slide with that Eastern Stick talk because we was talking stick talk last week about how Eastern Stick was out there wheeling and dealing. Like he just came out with a briefcase full of money and went to Vegas.
Oh,
then he came out there and showed who he really was. So we ain't about to let that slide. Eastern Stick is who he is at the end of the day. All right. I won't hear nothing else about no Eastern Stick. All right.
Don't worry, brother.
All right. No more talk about Eastern Stick. All right.
Oh, man. If it was under Zach Robinson's play calling, I can assure you that he wouldn't have had the performance he did Friday night. That was just a contingency plan in place. And, good for the organization to recognize the true talent that we have in our coaching department or coaching staff. Okay, just thought somebody was going to say something because we have gotten flack for Raheem Morris, and things like that. Zach Robinson, we are preparing for life after him because he is the next up-and-coming head coaching candidate, and I'm calling that now. But hopefully he does the Ben Johnson route and, is very selective with his next NFL team. But I mean, TJ, go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to Ben Johnson, I mean, he stayed because he felt like the Detroit Lions actually had a chance of winning something. I can't see that with Zach Robinson. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say something positive, man. Y'all found something special in Chris Blair. Like that guy continues to flash. I mean, he's exciting to watch, man. That's not something that comes around very often. When you have somebody out there that's making plays and showing flashes, you got to take advantage of that. I really enjoyed watching him play. I thought that the running game this week of the Falcons improved from last week. I seen some flashes there. I also seen, some turnovers, man. You mentioned James Pierce. I mean, he was very instrumental in that interception that Natron Brooks caught, and had that pick 6. So there's some positive things going on. I'm still concerned, Berto, man. I know you probably concerned too about their secondary, man. They giving up these big plays, man. And I understand that these are backup guys, but we know in the secondary, man, like, guys get injured, man, and it's the next man up mentality. And some of these guys that you're seeing out there, second string, possibly third string, can end up playing. And you don't want to be in meaningful games down the stretch and giving up these big plays. That's concerning. I see 100%. I see some flashes from some of these young players, and that's a positive. Like, you want to be able to hit in the draft, and you want to be able to see your return on investment, happen sooner rather than later. Chris Blair, I think that y'all got something. James Pierce is showing that he's as advertised, but that secondary, like I said, is a tad bit concerning to me. But all in all, I don't, you got to take preseason for what it is, man. You got to look at some of those players that are going to be beneficial to the success of your football team. All jokes aside, we know Eastern Stick is not going to be in the game. All right, we already know that. But guys like James Pierce, they are going to be in the game, and that's where you look at it and be like, okay, we got something. But other than that secondary, man, I think that y'all got something that y'all can be extremely optimistic about. But that secondary has got to improve.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Last week we saw, the first game we saw DeMarco Hitman Helms, just explode to the scene last week.
Right.
He didn't play this week. Still trying to search why he didn't. If I can take an educated guess, he was coming back from a season-ending injury last preseason. So the Falcons are just trying to be cautious. But at the same time, man, this is a business, next man up mentality. And if he's not showing his worth or proving his keep, then it's the next man up. And really, nobody really stood up in that secondary this past week other than Natron Brooks. We did miss out on Kobe Bryant, Hawk Mamba himself. He's dealing with hamstring injury. So that was another guy that we had high expectations for. We got him as an undrafted free agent, but unfortunately, we didn't get to see him. We got guys that really just were trash. Lamar Jackson, played horrible, the cornerback there.
I could have told you that, bro.
I know you. I should have reached out. Like, hey, man, what can you do? But obviously, the proof is there. But other than that, the depth behind our key starters, AJ Terrell and Mike Hughes, could be a little concerning. I know we just signed Clay Ropp's favorite corner, CJ Henderson, there to the Falcons.
Barbecue chicken.
We will see what we can get out of him. I know he's going to get extensive playing time against the Cowboys. So hopefully, he can show that he's turning the corner. The Falcons do have, all-world Jerry Gray, the defensive back guru, on our side. So hopefully he can shape him up into being at least decent enough to make the roster at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Wilberto, you're getting trolled here by Tom Brady, who comes back.
Tom Brady with 699, brother. You could have came on Patreon and said all of this 28-3 stuff haunts you, which it doesn't, but thank you for acknowledging.
Tom Brady got more money than that. Tom Brady's got more money than that.
Hey, to Tom Brady's credit, he donated $5 last week, and he upticked his donation by $1.99. So let's give him.
Man.
That broadcast money's finally hitting his pocket, man. He upped it $1 for us, man. Shout out to Tom Brady. Says 28-3 still haunts you, judging by all the not so subtle hints and constant Brady bashing. Because let's be real, that comeback still stings.
Oh man, sorry, it just doesn't. It just doesn't, man. It doesn't. I'm so past that.
When's your birthday?
January 17th.
Okay. This year I'm gonna send you something, and sneak peek, it's gonna be a flag. It's gonna be a flag.
Oh man,
all right.
Come on,
I'm not gonna tell you what's on the flag. I'm not gonna tell you what's on the flag. But I'm gonna send you a flag for your birthday this year. All right. Hey James, let's go on up, man. Finish us off here with the Atlanta Falcons game. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, they had some interesting moments. Like everybody else was saying, they had some guys who did some good stuff. Like Chris Blair's an interesting option. Nathan Carter did some interesting stuff too. Interesting point that Berto made about they had joint practices all week and how that affected the Falcons' performance. Bucs had joint practices with the Titans and didn't affect their performance, so they won quite easily. So I don't really know what I don't really. Maybe it's just like a I don't know. Who knows? But anyway. But yeah, no, they have some interesting young guys that they can be happy about, potential wise. JPJ is in there as well as an interesting option. So yeah, it's nice to see them growing and developing guys on both sides of the ball. And yeah, like TJ was saying, they do have some pieces that they can certainly be excited about in their depth.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, well, Falcons fans, let us know what your guys' takeaways are from this game in the comment section below. I know we got a lot of Falcons fans out there. In fact, let's take a quick look at the poll here. So let's see. We wanted to ask you guys, what squad? Okay, what squad are you guys repping? All right, and we got 33% Bucks, 21% Falcons, 3% Panthers, and 43% Saints. Man, shout out to TJ's grandma bringing the entire Saints crew to the episode today.
Man, let's go.
That's we got some Falcons fans.
That's a nice background.
28-3.
Hey, Bert, I'm just trying to see if you're practicing with. Hey, I'm just trying to see if you're gonna practice with your preach, man. Okay, I'm just trying to see how it goes.
Bro, you can keep that ish on all year and twice on the Sunday, and I won't break a sweat, bro.
Oh man, that's amazing.
You gotta love it.
Hey man, I love you, man.
Oh, likewise, brother. Likewise, man. And we're in such a giving mood, man. Run up those likes and run up those subscriptions as well, man. NFC South Roundtable is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, subscribe to these guys' individual channels. Links in the description box below. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. You guys are going to be playing each other twice a year. You're going to want to know what's going on with each of these teams outside of your own. But Clay, before we get on into the Panthers game, we got Who Dat for Life Chris coming back in here saying, motto to remember in life, Mike Evans is...
Oh, Lord, yo, this man's on fire, bro.
Chris is on fire today, man. Chris is on fire with the super chats. Always has clever ones, man. But today they feel a little extra clever. But Clay, let's go down to you. You said that there were some things that were bothering you from these Panthers earlier on. What have you seen in this past week's game? But what have you seen so far this preseason that maybe doesn't make you as optimistic as some other fans might be?
So, for me, I watched this game. For some reason I continued to watch it. But so this is Bryce Young's like second preseason game this year, and it was over before it began because here's the thing: head coach Dave Canales told reporters last week that he was going to give Bryce Young and this first team offense 2 to 3 series. Really, he was moving towards 3. Instead, they go out there 2 series, 6 total plays, 0 completions, and -2 yards, and then pulls them. And he said in his press conference that he felt like that they needed to earn more reps. The last time I checked for Bryce Young, he stumbled out the gate the first 2 games last season. And they only played 1 preseason game. So 0-2 in passing, including a drop. It was a perfect pass, by the way, but that would have continued the drive to Jadavion Sanders, and then a one-handed attempt that Tyrone McMillan couldn't reach. But he also took a sack, walked off of the field. You got a 39.6 passer rating. So for me, it wasn't the fact that it was the performance of Bryce Young in this first team offense. It was more that the argument that I have been making, and I've been having this argument all week with Panthers fans, is that protecting your young quarterback, I get it. There's not an argument there. But nobody wants their season torpedoed in a meaningless exhibition game. I get that as well. But there's also an argument here for reps, like real reps against a real defense, because you're going up to the first team defense of the Houston Texans, who have 2 top 10, edge rushers, right? In Danielle Hunter and, of course, Will Anderson. So, again, it comes back to the fact when you have a quarterback who stumbled out the gate last season, you pull him after 2 empty drives, it's just baffling to me. I think it's baffling. And when you're talking about, if the plan is to build chemistry, right, then let him go out there and do it again. Like, before calling it a night, it doesn't exactly qualify as team building, in my opinion. So Canales either panicked, or I think he second guessed it himself. Now, they were Dave Canales and Ajira Evero weren't calling the offensive defensive plays. It was Brad Ezek, and then it was one of the coordinators on the defensive side. I can't remember who it was. But anyways, the logic didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because that's my biggest concern, because Dave Canales has made his stance on Bryce Young clearly to me. He believes in him, but the way he manages that belief is contradicting, in my opinion. Because on one hand, he insists that Bryce Young is progressing beautifully, and then on the other, he won't let him play through the struggles in the preseason. And the result is a quarterback heading into year 3, once again, with minimal live action under his belt. And no wonder this fan base, besides myself, and it's not just me, that's doubting whether our head coach has the conviction to need to steer this franchise forward. And that's all I got to say about it.
Go off, Clay, man, on his soapbox, and rightfully so, man. You know what? You can support your team, but still call them out on their BS, and that's exactly what Clay did. Not a lot of fans will do that, and that's why we got Clay representing the Carolina Panthers. TJ, let's go on over to you. You just heard Clay go off about the Carolina Panthers. You've seen how they've performed this preseason. What are your takeaways from them?
I just think that they're trying to find themselves, man. I think that's what it all comes down to. When you have young coaches and they're new to an organization, and this is his second year. They're trying to develop who they are, and I can understand Clay being upset pulling Bryce Young after 2 series, but man, you also want to err on the side of caution, man. The worst thing that could possibly happen if you trying to go out there trying to sustain a drive and he ends up getting hurt. I mean, he definitely, was under duress. I mean, Will Anderson was after him. I mean, the entire defense. So you don't want to be like a situation where it was like on Monday night with Joe Burrow running for his life. And I mean, he took a really bad hit. So I can understand why they didn't keep him out there, but I'm not really concerned too much. I don't want to put too much stock into what I actually seen. I think that Bryce Young did some really good things towards the end of the season. I think it'll carry over to this season. I just think that when you are the Carolina Panthers and you've been in this situation for quite some time, like you're just tired of it. And, I can relate to that being a Saints fan over the last couple of years. Like you just want to see your team break through. But I think that they got some talent out there. I think that the talent is going to flash, but I mean, it's just going to have to take some time. I mean, they're not where they need to be right now. But I don't think that a turnover, is the right move. I think that you got to be very careful if you're Carolina. You're starting to develop a reputation for not having too much patience. So I think that, I think their coach, Dave Canales, is a good coach. I just think that it's going to take some time for them to figure out who and what they are.
All right, and James, go ahead and wrap us up here, bro. Let's go up over to you. Sorry, Bert, almost skipped your thoughts around the Panthers, man. But it's all right. We'll give you your time when the time comes. But James, what are your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers?
I mean, it was rough. It's a really rough preseason game. Now, I like Dave Canales, but my experience with Dave Canales is a lot different than Clay's experience with Dave Canales so far to this point. I had him as we had him as an offensive coordinator. Clay and the Panthers have him as a head coach. So, obviously, you're going to get some different vibes there. But, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, this was not a very encouraging preseason showing under any circumstances for the Panthers, even with backups, whatever it may be. So there is definitely a lot of concern there. But I do agree with TJ where it's hey, this is still a team that is still trying to find themselves. I know that there is a lot of optimism surrounding the Panthers, not just from Clay in regards to certain things, right? But even I think from the rest of us here at the Roundtable, we recognize that the Panthers are kind of working on building something. But there are games like this, there are moments like this that does make you pause a little bit and say it's not all sunshine and rainbows over there just yet. They are still trying to figure things out over there. But yeah, this was not a very good showing at all.
Hey, and I don't want to cut anybody off, but I mean, the Houston Texans are a really good football team, man. And D'Amico Ryans has those guys trending in the right direction. I mean, they draft really well. They got really good depth. And, and Clay, there's levels to this, man. When you're actually going through a rebuild, you're going to go up against teams that pretty much are established. And you can't really, take a look at what they, actually doing. I think sometimes you got to take it with a grain of salt and focus on what you're actually trying to build. And eventually, we'll probably be back here on the NFC South Roundtable where you're actually taking on teams like the Texans, and you'll probably have a better outcome. I just think that that's what happens when you're going through a rebuild.
Yeah, and before Berto goes, it's not even about the performances. It's not about the play that I'm seeing on the field. It's more of the goes into the coaching that I'm getting at. I did not like the fact that it was just a second guess. I felt like Canales second guessed himself, and he said, "Well, I felt like they needed to earn their reps." But he goes and says, "Well, I liked what I saw at joint practice." I get it. I get that you like what you saw at joint practice, but here's the thing: when we look at the performance as a whole, too, our starters looked unprepared. I mean, Taylor Moton's on his back the first play of the game, feet up. I've never seen an offensive line with his feet up in missionary position, ready to go. You know what I mean?
PG, bro, PG.
It was uninspiring. It was just this team is supposed to try to reset its culture under this new head coach. And I just feel like when you pull them after 6 plays of snaps, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't build that continuity unless you're on the field working through it. It's kind of like taking a running back off the field after, he gets stopped behind the line on 3 plays. It's like, well, you got to allow him to play a little bit more to kind of sense those patterns of the defense. So definitely frustrating. But Berto, what are your thoughts on these Panthers?
Besides the Bryce Young situation, not all was lost in that game. Sure, Trevor Etienne and safety, what's his name, Latham Ransom, pair of 4th-round picks, actually played pretty good for the Panthers in their matchup versus the Texans. Also, Corey Thornton, and I think he was an undrafted free agent who's making his name for himself in that cornerback room. So there are some bright spots to the Carolina Panthers situation. Princely Umanyalan continues to learn how to become a edge presence, and more so now because Nick Scorton's out. So Princely Umanyalan getting some extra reps, and so did Nkum, who I believe he registered a sack in this game as well. So there are some bright spots on there for the Carolina Panthers. But to the quarterback situation, listen, you guys lost Andy Dalton and Jake Plummer. He plummeted back to earth from last week's performance. And I think it's Canales' way also of protecting his franchise quarterback in Bryce Young and not really tapping into that into his what do you want to call it? His confidence going into the season, right? He did face a vaunted defense, D'Amico Ryan led defense, and that can shake the confidence of any NFL quarterback. So I think he probably pulled the dial on Bryce Young as soon as he's seen the pressure just amount. I know he only had like 2 or 3 series and that was it, but I think that's the reason why, just so they don't ruin Bryce Young and his confidence going into 2025.
Yeah, Berto, I think you had a really good point there. And before we go ahead and we move on to you, TJ, I want to get into the super chat because Tom Brady comes back in, okay? That's our guy. That's everybody's guy here at the NFC South Roundtable. We love Tom Brady in the chat, who says a 38-19 in Super Bowl, Berto, as well as Drake is the best quarterback here. What do you guys say about that, Berto? What you guys say?
Drake who? Drake May?
Draco.
Drake, man, there's only one Draco, and he resides in the NFC South. Stand up. Come on now.
Draco.
Come on now.
The
man.
Draco of the NFL. Mr. Drake May himself.
Drake London. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. Drake May he's a hell of a quarterback. I liked him coming out of North Carolina. But yeah, that's as far as I'll go. Kobe, I know you're the host and you're a Pats fan, so I'm not gonna go there. So it's all love. Yes, sir.
Obviously, you guys weren't expecting to draft a quarterback that year, but you ended up doing so. In a perfect world, would you have preferred Drake May or Penix?
Something? I broke down a lot of film, and Michael Penix to me still is the best quarterback that came out in that draft class. He's going to be better than Drake May. That Josh McDaniels offense is a tough one to learn, and you know that, Kobe. There's levels to that offensive strategy. Can Drake May put up and shut up? I don't know if he can.
Did this man just say
Michael Penix is better than Jaden Williams? Jaden Daniels, sorry.
He's gonna be. I gotta be confident. I don't care if it was
go to sleep, bro.
If it was an NFC guy on this platform trying to stake his claim for his quarterback, he's gonna say the same thing. I mean, for God's sakes, the Saints tried to trade up for Michael Penix. The Raiders tried to trade up for Michael Penix.
That's because they knew they couldn't get Jaden Daniels. You think you?
Oh well, and you guys wanted to get Michael Penix, and it didn't happen. Atlanta just shocked the world. They did exactly what their plan was, sought out to be, and was establish their quarterback room.
Look,
and they
ain't got no problem with what you're talking about. I think that Michael Penix is a talented quarterback. I like him coming out of Washington.
Thank you.
But at the end of the day, bro,
4,900 yards, 35 TDs,
he will
11
never
INTs.
be better than Jaden Daniels.
Why would you say never?
Because he's not.
Why?
There is, bro.
Why?
Don't
was
do
Washington's offense mid last year? What carried Washington last year? Was their defense.
Head to head. Did they not face each other head to head?
You take away. You say again.
Did they not face each other head to head?
And we took it to their asses.
On the line.
We took it to
on the line for the Falcons. They needed that game.
Michael Penix threw a game-tying touchdown when it mattered the most in crunch time. Did he or did he not?
And what did Jaden Daniels do?
In check.
And what did Jaden Daniels do?
Okay, so he ran for some. He made plays when they had to, but it's a tale of two seasons. We don't have Jimmy Lake no more. Jimmy Lake in that bullshit 2-4-5 defense that he ran was hurting.
You can have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They
Man, while we on here, let's praise.
You still
while we on here, let's praise.
You still won't have enough on that team.
Okay.
Like, man, Jaden Daniels is the truth, man. Do y'all, man? That dude
Why is he the
truth?
truth? Why? Because he put up a spectacular season as a rookie. Is that the only thing? Because Cliff Kingsbury did wonders with him.
The decision making, the collectability, the accuracy, the precision on passes. The dude is the truth.
Okay, that's fine.
The dude is the truth.
You can have all those accolades and much more. I'm still feeling like when careers are said and done.
Daniels got an NFC championship. Michael Penix got a do-rag. Until these situations change, I don't want to hear.
You're a good one, man. It's okay.
There's levels to this. They do this.
Absolutely.
Truth,
you're very, and you know what? We're inching up on those levels, and we're gonna creep there, and we're gonna get there soon. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we still got one more game to break down. But before we do that, Aaron comes in with a very, very generous $10 donation and says Bucks and Aints are tied for total and consecutive division wins. Tampa challenges that this year. Bucks run the South. Super Bowl run coming up. LFG, Tampa Bay. By the way, F the Saints. You know what? You paid the $10. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. Hopefully your grandma wasn't watching for that one, TJ. Hopefully she wasn't watching that one. But TJ, we got one more game to break down, and that is the New Orleans Saints. You guys tie with the Jags this week. So you know what? Hey, it's not a win, but at least it's not a loss technically. What are your thoughts?
Man, when it comes to the New Orleans Saints in 2025, you just got to look at the positive. I thought that some of the young players that they actually drafted flashed in this game. And, you know, they made some impactful plays. The rookie Danny Stutzman, the linebacker out of Oklahoma, I thought that he was flying around the field. Giannis Sinker, the safety that they got out of Virginia, he had an interception that pretty much he returned. I thought they should have like a second left on the clock. And also, man, just some of the young players like Calvin Banks, the left tackle. Like, man, all of these guys are flashing. And this is what's going to help the New Orleans Saints get out of the situation that they're in. Being able to draft guys that can make impactful plays. And, you know, I thought that was a plus. The Saints decided to roll with Tyler Shuck in this game, roll with the ones. There was some things that I seen from him. You know, I thought that was promising. He threw the ball with a little bit more confidence. If you've been following the team and following reports, it seems like he has been reluctant to pull the trigger in practice. A couple of plays, I felt like he actually trusted his arm and his abilities. But there were also some plays that really showed some people what they already have heard and some of the reports about him coming out of college, which is when he senses pressure, he starts to panic a little bit. And it's not very optimistic going into a season where you're thinking about starting a guy like Tyler Shuck, where your offensive line is looking like slow. I mean, the Saints offensive line is terrible. They may have the worst offensive line in football, which one of the main reasons why I feel like maybe they need to consider starting Spencer Rattler to start the season. He came in the second half, and I know it was second and third string guys, but he provided a spark, man. I thought that he played much better this week versus the Jags than last week versus the Chargers. It was one of those situations where maybe he felt the pressure of competition. He looked at the depth chart. He was ahead, and maybe he played a little bit tight. But he went out there in the second half, man. He let it rip, man. He threw the passes down the field, found guys like Mason Tipton who was making plays and flashing, and also Dante Pettis. So he was very confident in his abilities. And the Saints were down 17-9 late in that game. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. He facilitated, I'm talking Spencer Rattler, facilitated a 2-minute drill, tied the game. He used his legs to get the 2-point conversion. And look, it's going to be one of those seasons. Look, I'm okay with what's going on with the Saints. This is something that I asked for. I wanted the Saints to embrace the rebuild. In this case, embrace the suck. Things got to get ugly before they get beautiful. So I'm okay as long as they continue to fight and they show the type of grit that they did towards the end of that game. I'm okay. But I like that I seen some of these young players flashing, and I just think that is the positive. I didn't see any starting defensive players, but offensively, they just got to get it together. Offensive line, and if that offensive line can't get it together, it's going to be a really long season, and definitely going to be picking in the top two. And I don't think the Saints going to be number two.
Hey man, number one overall pick. You kidding me? Arch Manning, maybe, restart. Finally, new generation of the Saints, man. I mean, I feel like that's probably best case scenario, right? Like, is that where Saints fans are at? Like, yo, let's just crap this entire season, get the first overall pick, and build for 2026.
Well, look, nobody in that locker room is going to be thinking like that, Kobe.
Yeah.
These guys are professionals, but there are levels to this. Like I was just talking about with Clay. Like when you are a young, inexperienced team trying to rebuild, I mean, you're probably going to lose some football games. But I think the Saints need to see what they got on this team. Like this is the year where I feel like you're going to get the grace of the fan base because people understand that this team is not very good right now. So you might as well see what you got with Tyler Shuck, see what you got with Spencer Rattler and some of these other guys on the team. And if it pans out, then it pans out. And if it doesn't, then guess what? You go back to the drawing board. It's a much better quarterback class. Got guys like Drew Aller coming out, Lenore Sellers. I mean, Arch Manning, he came out today in a press conference and basically said, he didn't, it's not set in stone that he's going to go back to Texas. So he might even be in the draft. So I think that this is the year where the Saints need to figure out what they actually have. And if they don't have the talent, then try to build through the draft again and try to build on what you actually have this season.
Well, James, let's go on up to you. What are your thoughts about what you're seeing from the New Orleans Saints so far?
It always hurts my soul to see ties in preseason. Let me just start with that. So that was brutal to watch. I always love coming in here every week and seeing where TJ's at with who's going to be the starting quarterback of the Saints. Because I don't know who it's going to be. I feel like at this point, we're going to get like Spencer Rattler starting half the season. And then whenever things go to hell, like midway through the season, then we're going to see Tyler Shuck throughout the rest of the way. That's just my vibe at this point. But no, I agree with TJ. Like this is obviously still a team that's like really trying to figure some things out and honestly just trying to see who the heck they're going to keep long term. Right. Because this is a rebuild by like pure definition. That's basically what it is at this point. So like they're trying to find anybody who can make an impact, anybody who can be with this organization for the next couple of years. And it is what it is. Right. I don't think that the Saints fans, should be disappointed by that per se, because teams do have to go through that. It has to get worse before it gets better. And the Saints were in a situation for so long where it was like they were just holding on to the last grasps of like, hey, can we still be something, going forward in the NFC? And this is the year where it's finally like, you know what? We're not going to try to do that as much anymore. Let's just see what we can kind of retool with and rebuild with. And I think that that's the right way to go.
Berto, let's go on over to you. Do you feel the same way that James does? Or, because like I always say, you are probably the number one hater of the New Orleans Saints. Are you like, yeah, they're done. They're set back. Stay in the basement, little buddy. We'll take care of the division for you.
Oh, the basement for sure, absolutely. But to James's point, yeah, I think we're going to see Spencer Rattler. Finish 18 of 24 for 199 yards, a touchdown, a costly interception. So we're still seeing that he's still making those from last year's those rookie mistakes from last year. They're going into this year, but he did show poise, with his legs scoring a 2-point conversion. So there's some things that you can like about Spencer Rattler and the chances he can give New Orleans in winning some games this year. Rookie Jonas Sanker, one of my favorite safeties coming out of Virginia, man, had a hell of a game, man. 5 solo tackles and a pass deflecting that INT to what TJ said. Should have been some time left on the clock that could have ended the game in regular time, but it didn't. Mason Tipton's performance at wide receiver still continues to be an inspiration, and you probably stuck in a position where you're going to have to try and outscore teams because defensively, I don't think the Saints are going to be there. And while you mentioned Danny Stutzman as the linebacker, sure, he was solid, but the entire unit struggled overall, missing and accounting for 9 missed tackles in that game against the Jaguars. And the offensive line concerns are very real. And one person in particular, Cesar Ruiz, and a lot of the times when it was either Shuck or Rattler that was behind that quarterback, they seem to target Cesar Ruiz's side, and with much success. So, yeah, there are some legitimate concerns going into this last preseason game for the Saints, and it's also going to trickle into the 2025 season.
Claire, let's go down to you and wrap us up before we get into this quarterback debate. What are your thoughts on the Saints?
Yeah, I think that they're going to go into the season with Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler, I mean, just had a nice redemption, in this game after the preseason outings he already had. But Mason Tipton, a guy keeps emerging. The guy had 6 catches over 100 yards, multiple big plays in this game. Jalen Ford, I think, continues to impress me as well. Rookie safety, Jonas Anchor, like everybody's saying, should have been the game-ending interception. But yeah, overall, the Saints are in familiar territory that I've been in. So, and another thing, what's up with the new turf? DJ, what's up with that new turf causing all this footing issues?
I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer that all teams should be playing on grass. I don't care if, you're playing outside or inside. I just think that's the NFL just being cheap. I think all teams need to play on grass, regardless if they play indoors or outdoors.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is going to wrap us up here for preseason week 2 recaps. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below on how your squad did perform. Now, like I alluded to earlier on, we got one more segment left for you guys, and it's not looking into the final preseason game, okay? Because, look, some teams play their starters. A lot of teams ultimately rest every single one of their starters. So we'll recap week 3 when that time ultimately does come along. But we want to have a little bit of fun here at the NFC South Roundtable this week. So these guys are going to go one by one, and they are going to rank who they believe are the best quarterbacks in the division, ranking them from 1 to 4. Who is the best and who is the worst? But James, before we start with you, we got one more super chat I want to get into. Who Dat for Life Chris comes back in here and says, the only thing the Sucks going to run are their mouths like an OF model, looking for money on the dresser afterwards without a Mississippi Pim. Who Dat?
Whoa. This is a family-oriented show, sir.
Hey, and I do want to make it clear, man. I'm not saying that the Saints are going to look as bad as everybody think. I'm just like, because we hear this all the time, man. Like they said the same thing last year about the Commanders. They said the same thing a year before about several other teams. Like we don't know. We don't know how teams are going to look. Coaches change, organizations figure it out. I'm not saying they're going to win the division or to go to the playoffs, but they might not be as bad. I have a wait and see approach because I don't know, man. I think it might not be as bad as people think. That's just
all we got to do is wait, right? Wait and see approach. Every single year there's a team that everybody thinks, yep, they're at the bottom, and then they play better than people expected. And then there's always that team that we all expect to be great, and then they aren't. So only time is going to tell. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's get into this quarterback debate before we log off for the day. James, I want to start with you. Who are your quarterback rankings here for the NFC South heading into 2025?
Yeah, this didn't take a lot of thought for me. By the way, great group we have here, guys. This is really, we're doing great over here. Number 1, I've got Baker Mayfield. I really don't think it's close in my opinion. Number 2, I've got actually Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers coming in at number 2.
Brother.
Number 3,
as you should.
Yeah, number 3, I've got Michael Penix, and then number 4, I've got Spencer
Rattler. There you go.
Petty Pablo.
Then number 4, I've got Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck because we don't know who's going to be the starter at this point.
Okay. Berto definitely didn't love that list. He sounded like that meme from SpongeBob, Brother, this guy sucks.
Brother, this guy.
That's what he sounded like there for a minute. But all right, guys, let us know your thoughts on James' list in the live chat. Berto, based off of your reactions, I can tell you have a different list than what James had. So go ahead and break down. Who are your quarterback rankings?
All right. So, I'll say this. James in the Buccaneers or Baker Mayfield, take number 1. They've been the lead dog for the past 4 years, but this is going to be a true and telling year under Josh Grizzard and how Baker Mayfield can operate this high-powered Bucs offense. Josh Grizzard is not an offensive mind known throughout the league, so he's got to make a name for himself. Will it be too much for Baker Mayfield to handle? I'll leave it at that. I got Michael Penix coming in at number 2. Our dual threat quarterback is going to shock a lot of people, right? And rightfully so, and stake his claim as that 8th overall pick, that shocking 8th overall pick. So Michael Penix, number 2 in this division. Clay, yeah, I'll let it slide this one time, bro. But next time, I'm gonna break off on you. All right, man.
Hey, listen,
I'll give Bryce
Michael
Young
Penix,
number 3.
Listen, Michael Penix's knees are made out of like ground beef. So
They're not. They're
not.
That's man. That is. Shut up, man. No, he's good, bro. He is good. Miss me with that crap. Bryce Young, little man, coming at number 3. TJ, all love to you, brother. It's just the situation at hand. Unfortunately, the Saints are in last place. So to recap, Baker Mayfield, Michael Penix, the little guy, and then we have, unfortunately, the New Orleans Saints. And I'm just going to name it the New Orleans Saints because we don't know. TJ might dress up at quarterback and start for the Saints for all we know.
Yeah, you'd probably be the best starter too, TJ, man. You probably would be. So, hey, maybe go down there.
I ain't about to let y'all talk about my quarterbacks, man. We ain't seen these boys in regular
season. Go down there to Bourbon Street, TJ. Start throwing some passes.
No. Here's the crazy thing, though. We've seen more of Spencer Rattler than we've seen of Michael Penix. That's the crazy part. So that guy's number 2, though, Berto. That guy's number 2.
Yeah. 5 games.
Berto lives off of practice reps. Me and Clay are living off
the joint practices look great, man. I tell you.
Hey, they're just as good. They're just as good as a live rep. And James, I'm gonna go on air just to say, hey, man, I'm gonna steal a line from Chad Ochocinco. I love you, man.
I love you, man. Hey, guys, look, we got 80 likes currently on the stream, but we have about 200 people watching live right now. We should be able to hit 150 likes. That is our like goal, and it's very, very doable. It's nothing crazy. So let's hit 150 likes. Let's reach our goal by the end of the stream. We can hit it right now if everybody, it's completely free, takes less than a second, taps the screen with that thumbs up and helps us out significantly. But, Clay, let's go down to you. Who are your quarterback rankings here in the division?
So Baker Mayfield, easy number 1 for me. He's still, unfortunately, he's on his 3rd OC, in like 3 years. But he adapts very well. I mean, he's a true professional, right? So Bryce Young's number 2. I mean, it's not even a debate because from week 8 on, he transformed last year. I mean, we're talking about over a 10-game stretch that even TJ alluded to. Having an 83.2 grade from PFF, ranked 13th in the NFL at that point from week 8 on. The skepticism is fair. I get it because I do have my thoughts as well. But 10 games after when him being benched isn't a full season. I get it. But this is obviously 2025 for me is a prove-it year for him. Penix for me is number 3. I mean, the guy knees is made out of hamburger meat. Like he's said, electric. He's got streaky accuracy. He's got shaky decisions under pressure. But if he can iron out those inconsistencies, I mean, I think he can be the stability that Atlanta needs. All right. Like, I'm not going to say that he's not like he can't be a baller. I think he can be. I think he's got all the arm talent in the world. Right. But we can't say anything off of 5 games. Like, I mean, let's be honest. And of course, New Orleans Saints, like, I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, I was there too, so I know.
I was there too, so I get it. Hey, guys, so far, we got James and we got Clay with the same lists. We got Berto with a bit of a different list, having Michael Penix at 2 and Bryce Young at 3. That's the only change there. Let's get into TJ and let's see where he is. Is he more with James and Clay, or is he more with Berto? TJ, let's hear it.
All right, so I mean, it goes without saying, Baker Mayfield number 1. I mean, he just the better quarterback. I mean, I think everybody agrees with that. Number 2, I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I know he's better, but he has done more more in the NFL than Michael Penix has. I think that some of those injuries that he had, prohibiting him from really, getting the ultimate goal for the Falcons.
Y'all wish you had Kirk Cousins.
Bryce Young is, I thought that he turned the corner. I was really impressed with Bryce Young. I think that he has some really good mental makeup because what he went through last season, I mean, it would have broke many quarterbacks. I mean, being a first overall, getting benched that early in your career, he was able to bounce back. And the last time we seen him in a regular season game, he was going up against Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons and threw 5 touchdowns and outdueled him. So got to give him credit on that. yeah, then I'll roll with, like I said, Michael Penix down there, I mean, we seen some things from him, saying we seen a black do-rag, we seen a lavender do-rag, and we also seen a couple passes down the field. But I look, all jokes aside, Michael Penix is a really talented quarterback. And I think that, he is going to be a franchise player for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not going to lie about that. And then down at the bottom, in the basement, what I'm saying, get your flashlights. You'll see Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck. Until one of these guys actually does something in the regular season, I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. As much as I love my Saints, you got to be real about it. I mean, these two guys hasn't done anything as a starter when it comes to Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shuck to separate himself from Spencer Rattler. So right now, they're at the bottom.
Fair assessment, TJ. Fair assessment. I mean, I think you definitely confused people on the Kirk Cousins one, but it's a fair statement. It's a fair statement. I'll definitely give it to you. But guys,
you might see him. Like, honestly, you might see him, man. Michael Penix, like he hasn't been a clean bill of health throughout his career. So I'm just saying.
Or Kirk Cousins goes somewhere else and then starts balling out. We're like, damn, maybe it was the Falcons.
No, it makes no sense to get rid of Kirk Cousins right now. He will be.
Oh, so he's your starting quarterback then?
No, he's the backup. Thank you so much. He will be the world's
most Michael Penix
backup.
has weak knees. That's why.
Now, man, you got a weak coordinator. Be quiet, James.
Guys, look, that is going to wrap us up here today for the NFC South Roundtable. Recapped every single game from preseason week 2. So let us know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And of course, let us know your thoughts on each of these guys' quarterback rankings for the NFC South heading into the 2025 NFL season. Again, make sure you check out Roundtable Sports' main YouTube channel. Okay, you got 4th and Forever Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, going over the biggest news in the NFL every single day, and the college football show every single Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, on Roundtable Sports' main YouTube channel. Of course, make sure you guys subscribe here to the NFC South Roundtable. We go live every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we drop little recorded videos, little snippets from our live streams throughout the week too. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you do not miss out when we go live. Leave a big like on the video on your way out if you guys enjoyed today's episode. But until next time, I'm Colby Cochran, host here of the NFC South Roundtable. We appreciate you for watching and stay safe.